Spiritual Vacancy, a place where we fill your spiritual void. I am Mona Lee. I'm the owner of Beautiful Mind with Mind, Body, Spirit Healing. And I am here with some amazing, amazing people, my dear partner and friend and co.
Brooke Ann. I'm a psychic medium and a Reiki practitioner. And today we are interviewing my friend Reiki Dan. Thank you for
Hi,
being here today.
thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, of course. So me and Dan actually met. There's an event in Wilmington that I do, and I don't know if it was obviously meant to be, but he was placed right next to my table. And his lovely wife Lauren was working with him that day, and she came over to me at the end and was like, "You're in Myrtle Beach? I'm in Myrtle Beach." And we just connected ever since. So it's nice having another spiritual friend in the area. And so what we want to start off with today is, how did you start your spiritual journey? What was it in your life that led you to this path?
So it was a couple of different smaller moments that I guess built up into a bigger moment. When I was about 5, I started taking karate and we started doing meditations. So that was my first introduction as a kid. And when you're a kid, your eyes are closed. You're like kind of looking around through your eyes. You're not paying any real attention to it. But I think that kind of set the framework for me meditating later on as an adult. I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. I did this as a kid, right? When I was about 17, my brother met a girl who introduced him to a guy who claimed to be some sort of spiritual authority. He said that he worked for the government at one point. There was a lot, it was almost like a cult like situation. It was like Catholic ideology mixed with conspiracy theories, mixed with the mistrust of the government. So there was a lot of like weird things. And this is right around when 9/11 happened. So there was a lot of fear, there's a lot of insecurity. Not a lot of people knew what was going on. And this guy seemed to harp on younger people to get into their impressionable minds and kind of twist it to his liking. So my brother, I kind of watched him slowly kind of go down this pathway with this gentleman, and it became a little bit controlling. He was like, anytime you have an issue, go talk to him. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Anytime you want to do research, don't look into it yourself. Go talk to this guy because he's got the answers. And I'm like, I don't really like the way that sounds. So that was an ongoing situation, probably for about like 15 years of my life, where I'm trying to not play into him or ignore my brother and this guy. And it made me start questioning and looking for answers on my own. So I started deep diving into books on spirituality, meditation, energy work, psychic mediumship. I really started getting interested in, like the tales of old. So, like ancient Egypt, ancient Atlantis. I always felt like I had this feeling as a kid that like humans had a bigger potential than we were led on to believe. And I was always kind of in search of this like hidden knowledge or mystery school knowledge. Like, what did the ancients know back then that we don't really practice or know about right now? It felt like something was missing. And I've kind of been in search of that missing piece my whole life by doing this work. So I guess by the time I was 25, I learned what the term empath meant, and it resonated so strongly. I'm like, oh my god, how did I not know this? How come nobody's talking about this? It just all the check boxes for being an empath made sense, and I was excited to tell like one of my friends at the time. I'm like, I'm an empath, and he's like, okay, so I don't really care. I'm like, okay, good. I guess, well, this is a solo journey. I guess I'm going to do this on my own from now on. So I kind of stumbled through life, difficult boss, narcissistic friends, difficult family, up until 2020. 2020, I was having massive panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I didn't know what was going on with me. That was kind of like the kickoff to my healing journey. And I started really deep diving. I was writing a lot. I was just trying to like unburden myself. So it led me to Reiki, it led me to tarot, and the rest is kind of history. I built my business, what, a year and a half ago now. I went to massage therapy school. So, like, the healer's journey is my path. Whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's emotional and mental, I kind of want to be, the more holistic side of healing, where it's not like you need to take my advice and do these things, otherwise you're going to have a miserable life. But it's kind of like you're leading the horse to water. Like, here's the information. It helped me. It worked for me. if you want to, participate and do better for yourself, join me. If not, that's up to you. It's all free will, right? So I
Mm.
guess that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Well,
I
that's,
love that.
yeah, it's
I love
fascinating.
it. It is fascinating. I have a couple questions for you, Dan. And so what happened to the mentor that was the gentleman that your brother was saying, oh, you got to go talk to him and see what that's like. What happened with that?
So he had a pretty good following. It wasn't like a huge group, maybe about like 20 people, but slowly, surely, everybody kind of dropped off one by one, and the money started to dry out. My brother was loyal to a fault, and he was the
Mhm.
only one left after all those years. Right after me and Lauren got married in 2017, they moved to some island in the Caribbean, and they've been there ever since. And we don't really hear from them much. He asks for money once in a while, but yeah, they kind of just went off the deep end with their beliefs, and they disappeared and got out of Dodge, and now they're kind of just, living on top of a hill somewhere in the middle of the Caribbean. So
Interesting, interesting. And Brooke Ann, and I were talking about this, that as far as in our industry of work, as far as healing work, as far as Reiki and energy healing and psychic mediumship and tarot cards, we don't see a whole lot of men doing the work. And we were just like, wow, this is great. We get to talk to Reiki Dan. So in that realm, how does it feel to be a dude, if you will, doing the work? Because you don't see a lot of men doing the work. So how is that for you? What is that like?
Well, I mean, I'm used to doing this work by myself a lot. You know what I mean? It's been a not lonely, but I've been doing this in quiet by myself for all these years. It only took me like a year and a half to come out of the spiritual closet, and only did like me speaking to other women that are kind of doing this work that I realize, oh, I am the only guy around here. But I think women think it's cool because it's like you get the other perspective, you get the male perspective, you get the strong masculine energy, which we're all kind of lacking or missing in our everyday lives, right? I think it's cool. I have a different perspective and a different take than I would on you or Brooke would, obviously, even though we're all kind of in the same wheelhouse. It's a difficult path for men to take, I think, in Western society because we're so expected to be the breadwinners and to just work and take the careers and kind of like always worrying about the money making aspect. And I like making money, but not. I don't know how to explain it, but I just think that as a male, it's like when you hear the calling or a female, it's hard to ignore it. It didn't matter if I came in the male avatar or the female avatar. I had the calling, it called out to me. All this stuff happened for a reason. I couldn't ignore it. But I think a lot of females in the community take comfort with the fact that there is a good male that's not trying to manipulate or swindle or coerce or sexually harass, which we see with so many other male figures that are in a religion or a cult like aspect or whatever, right? So I think it's kind of like a sacred duty, I guess, to be one of the only guys. And I have a lot of respect for the females because I know what they've been through. I feel their energy. It's not easy going down this path, but yeah, I think it's kind of like a sacred duty. I think to be one of the only males around, so I take that seriously.
Well, I think it's awesome that you've embraced it because there are so many actually sensitive males or are an empath or connected to their higher self or spiritual, but it's not really like, accepted in normal life or for men to be tapped into their, more feminine side or softer side or more spiritual side. Cause I know there's a lot of men out there that are skeptics or, even if they feel something, they don't want to believe it
Mm.
and they kind of push away from it. And so for you, when you fully dived in and came out of the spiritual closet, as we say, how did your friends and family react? Did you lose some friends and family, or did you have like very positive feedback around, people that were around you when you decided to say who you truly are?
Well, I kind of knew like the way my parents handled my brother. I knew that I was never going to get like the support from them by doing this. Like the support you expect.
Mhm.
Them just letting me do my thing. I don't really talk about it much with them. They don't really seem interested. I think this stuff freaks them out or weirds them out, or they don't know how to feel about it because of everything that went down with my brother. So, I mean, I don't bring it up often. They don't know what I do per se, but they know that I like to help people. So I think in their mind that's easy for them to pass through. Yeah, I mean, I think I've lost friends just because of like vibration, just because we're not aligned anymore. I don't think it was necessarily because of me going on this path. I mean, as you're going down this path, you start to change, you start to change your boundaries, who you're allowing in your circle, who you're communicating, and it's kind of like you just naturally divert, it just happens. So I didn't think I mean, I lost some people, but it's not like it was always like a harsh breakup or burning because of burning bridges. It's just like we're not going down the same road anywhere more, and I'm going this way, you're going that way. It's kind of like we're just parting ways and letting it be, without fighting over it. That's kind of what I think.
That's great. That's really good. Go ahead,
It
Mona.
is. It is. I love how you mentioned that, Dan, that, it just, people do vibrate in different ways. And then if they're not doing the same thing, it's okay to just kind of, you go your way, I go mine. We just vibrate in different paths, if you will. But the paths that we start to vibrate in of the like-minded, isn't it amazing how you meet more and more and more of like the soul group, the soul family, and the like-minded. So that is incredible when you're just, I see you living your Dharma and living your truth and living in who you are and who you're meant to be. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I see you glowing as well as we're talking. It's just such a gorgeous thing. So I do have a question for you. For those out there who really want to go into this work, especially whether it's male, whether it's female, it doesn't matter. We are all these souls on this journey. So, what is that one piece of advice that you would give to anyone that is ready to start in the same type of spiritual path that you have taken?
I think the best piece of advice I wish I heard years ago is to learn to listen and trust your own inner guidance,
Mm,
which is extremely difficult to do if you're an empath because you're just constantly absorbing everybody's opinions and people pleasing behavior, and you're
mm,
kind of articulating or feeling how everyone's going to react to your reactions. So I think when you kind of like navigate and you calibrate that inner compass inside of you, and you know to trust it even when everything around you is telling you not to, but something inside of you is telling you to trust it. It's there for a reason. That nagging feeling is there for a reason. You have to listen to that call, otherwise it's going to continue on until you and pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
That is great advice to anybody listening out there. And then also, I want to know, what are all the services that you offer, Dan, and where can people find you? Like, what's your Facebook page, a website? You got a new podcast you're working on? Like, we want to hear it all. Tell us
I'm,
everywhere anybody can find you.
I'm a little bit all over the place. So my website is reikidansc.com. My Facebook is just Reiki Dan SC. I'm the only Reiki Dan in Myrtle Beach. Um, my Instagram is also Reiki Dan SC, and I'm starting a new podcast with my mentor Z. She's a psychic medium. We've been working probably for about the last year, working in circle groups, and she's really helped me along on my psychic medium development journey. And she's kind of been like a mentor, and we kind of just like share information and articulate readings, and we kind of like do what you guys dive a little bit deeper into spirituality and make it a little bit more digestible for people, right? So that's going to be called Supernatural Scuttlebutt.
That's awesome.
um, that's going to be on YouTube and Spotify and Apple, and I'm going to promote it. I'm doing all the editing right now and trying to make intros and make it like presentable and clean. But that's going to be probably in the next couple of weeks. We're going to launch that, so we're excited for that.
So are you
that
going to be, oh, sorry, are you going to be offering Reiki with massage at some time? Because you did get your massage therapy license too.
That's the plan. I'm going to be working at a clinic at a spa just to kind of do like the day to day, and I'm going to take on clients, for my business. So I'm going to mix in Reiki and massage. I kind of want to do like a 90 or a 2 hour Reiki massage where I'm kind of like mixing a little bit of both and kind of going back and forth for like a deeper relaxing experience. I haven't really tested it out yet, but I think it's going to be awesome when I start working it. So I'm really excited to promote that when my license gets here. But
Do you already know what spa you're going to be working for the listeners or not yet?
I am, but I'd prefer not to announce it because if they
Okay.
come in those doors, then their client's there and I can't take them personally. So you-
Gotcha.
yeah,
Don't worry.
I'd rather them do their marketing and me do my marketing, you know?
Perfect. Well, you guys are just gonna have to follow him on all of his socials to keep up with where he's gonna be and what he's got going on, because he's got a lot going on. And do you have anything else you want to ask him, Mona?
I'm just excited about the work that you're out there doing. I just love that you are doing this amazing healing work. And I feel like whenever people do find you, wherever you're doing your massage and Reiki and the whole entire conglomeration of energy healing, you're going to be sought after. And many spas will be saying, "Hey, come over to our spa." And I've got some friends that have some different spas, and I would love to introduce you to them as well in our Myrtle Beach area. That would be wonderful.
that'd be
And he's
Yes.
also a professional tarot reader as well. So you could even mix that in too, Dan. Be like,
I don't
pull
even
some
I
cards on
got
the
like so
phone.
many I got so many of the modalities. I gotta figure out a way to make it all or make a package deal for all of it, you know?
You can do it.
Massage, Reiki, tarot, like do all the things, right?
Mediumship. I'll do it all.
Mediumship,
Do
yeah.
it all, Dan.
Do it all, do it
Do it
all.
all. We're happy
You're
to
gonna leave
support you.
you're gonna leave my appointment emotionally exhausted.
Well, thank you so much for being here today and letting us interview you. And we appreciate you. We're excited about all the things you've got going on. And we appreciate your friendship. So we
Yes,
hope
thank you.
everybody has a beautiful day and namaste. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Bye.